Dan Illman, Mike Beer taking a look at race number 7 at Belmont Park on Sunday. It's the $100,000 Pumpkin Pie Stakes for 3-year-olds and up. They are fillies and mares. You can bet the race with a DRF Bets account. Sign up at bets.drf.com. Receive a 300% deposit match. Here's the field for the Pumpkin Pie Stakes. I don't know, Mike. I looked at this field. I know 7 are entered, and I know Sour's good, and I know Tequilita's good, and I know Sexy Reasons has come up with a good record in South America. I want to try to find a price in here. Sour, the number 4, I did not like the way she finished up last time out in the Charlestown Oaks. Now, I guess the built-in excuse was it was a 2-turn race. She kind of didn't break very well and then was hustled up to make the lead. But she was all done on the turn, and I didn't like the way she finished at all.
I kind of agree with that. Not only didn't I like the Charlestown Oaks as a race overall, I didn't like the way that she ran in that race. I also didn't, not that she was supposed to necessarily win the prior 2 starts back, but she didn't run that well in that race either. And I would even go 3 starts back on her, Dan. And I know she was close in the victory ride, but she had a perfect trip in there, closing on a very fast and contested pace. I don't know. I know that she can win. I know there's a real chance that she just makes the front in this race because she's pretty fast, and maybe that's all it takes. But I'm a little skeptical of her right now.
Good segue for the Timeform U.S. pace projector. We throw it up right now, and we see the number 4 Sour out there on the lead. And if she gets an easy lead, she might be gone in this field. But I agree with you. I think the victory ride for me was kind of an eye-opener because after she won the Jersey Girl, I was really curious to see if she'd be able to take that step up into graded competition. She had that perfect trip off the duel. It looked like she was going to go right by. She did not. Since then, the buyers have gone down. At a short price, while I realize she could easily win, I do want to take a chance against her. The 2 Sexy Reasons lacks pace data because she has yet to race in North America. First start for Todd Pletcher, first start with Lasix, 8 for 12 in South America. A lot of times we see these South American horses being thrown to the wolves in graded stakes company, and often they're overmatched. I think Todd has found a great spot for this horse if she can run.
Right. I mean, you can't argue with the race that he found for her. The question is, what kind of price do you want her? I don't know what kind of price she's going to be. I suspect she takes some money in here. And then, just how good is she? You don't worry necessarily about the layoff with her because Pletcher's great in this situation. But everything else about her just has to offer some questions for you. She has a good record over there. They've been going long with her. She hasn't sprinted since April of last year, or since June of last year, make that. They've been going longer races with her. Pletcher is going to sprint her off the layoff. Who knows what she's been beating over there. To me, she's the kind of horse I will use her defensively, but I'm not really looking to bet this horse on Sunday.
Sprint and the layoff worry me. And again, this is the right field for her. She is 3-1 on the morning line. Silly Sister's 30-1 on the morning line. I think she deserves to be a little bit less than that. She's coming off of a sharp win over a wet track at Finger Lakes. Now, she wasn't beating the strongest field in the world, but she did a lot of work early in that race and just kept right on going. We've got a positive formulator fact for a very good trainer in Jeremiah Engelhardt of the past 6 months. Last out older dirt winners, making the second start off a layoff, 38%, 274 ROI. If Sour doesn't want the lead, maybe Silly Sister just tries to make the running. She's a little bit slow on paper.
A little bit slow. Jeremiah Engelhardt, though, you're right that the formulator fact points you to this horse, and he's quickly emerging as one of the better horses in New York, especially this year. He's having a great year. She's not fast enough to win this race. I think you have to, go back to those races when they sent her to Finger Lakes over the summer, and she lost 3 times as an odds-on favorite, and be a little bit leery of her. But you're right. Last time it was only her second start for Engelhardt, and first off of a little bit of a layoff. It wasn't a fast race with a 65 buyer, but she went a fast pace in there. Fast early, slow late, held on to win. And it's worth remembering that she started out her career for Linda Rice like she was going to be okay. She won a couple of dirt races in a row early on and then acquitted herself well in some tougher races. And maybe Engelhardt's just getting her back to one of her good form now. I'm using this horse. I didn't pick her on top. I doubt I would bet her to win, even if she's a big price, but I'm using this horse somewhere in multi-race wagers.
Can you make a case for the possibly dirtied up number 7 Tiffany Case, who returned off an extremely long layoff and caught Breeders' Cup filly and mare sprint-bound Golden Mischief at Mountaineer Park, and then last time out just found 2 turns in a sloppy track a little bit long for her? I know that the mile and a 16th probably isn't her best game, but boy, she was tired a long way out in that Wasted Tear Stakes.
Yeah, she got me. I didn't like that effort from her. She is a speed in this race, though. I wonder if they're just going to try and send her to the front in this race, and if she can even clear Sauer to the lead, maybe it gives her a better chance. I just don't know how much more improvement she has in her, Dan. She's a 5-year-old coming off a couple of bad races, and she's never really run fast enough to win this race. I don't know. She's really not for me, but I hear what you're saying. If they just send her to the front, maybe she turns it around.
I think 7 furlongs is the best distance for the number 6 Squan's Kingdom. She was in against a pretty nice horse in Karen last time out at Laurel, but I thought all things considered, she's had a nice trip, just tracking 3 wide. She attacked on the turn, and she was just kind of one pace that last furlong and a half, and I don't think that race is good enough to win this.
I don't think it is either. It's basically the best race she's ever run. She has an 81 buyer a few starts ago. I don't think either of those races are necessarily good enough. Another horse, I don't know how much improvement she's gonna bring to the table here. 23 starts already. Maybe she gets a good trip, but I didn't like her that much.
Let's take a look at our top selections for this race. I mentioned that Squan's Kingdom wants 7 furlongs. Tequilita really wants 7. They tried that Winter Melody last time out. She was the favorite. She didn't break. She kind of was sent up to the contest a mild pace. I know you've always liked this horse turning back, and she has the back class and figures to win this race. I just haven't really loved what she's done recently. I mean, they put the blinkers on in the Ballerina, and she was completely overmatched against Marley's Freedom. But for the most part, she was down on the best part of the track that day, and she just kind of was one-paced in the stretch. And last time out, I thought she had to run better, even with the trouble at a longer distance.
I mean, I can totally see what you're saying there. To me, she's not a 2-turn horse, so they could basically run her on any 2-turn dirt race, and I would give her an excuse because I don't think she wants to go that far. I know that her Ballerina was nothing special, but I don't think anybody expected her to win the Alabama, and it's not like she got beat a million lengths in there. She didn't run bad. She did the best that she could do in a race like that one. To me, in this field, Dan, there just really wasn't anywhere else to go. If she runs her good race, I just think she's better than these horses. 7 furlongs is her best distance. I just couldn't find anybody else to take in the race, so I'm taking her.
Well, it's fair to say that if she runs the Ballerina figure, she not only wins this race, but she probably wins it by a good margin. She is capable of running buyers in the low 90s. I know my filly isn't capable of running that. She's yet to run an 80 in her career, but I guess my pick here just shows my disdain for the favorites. My case for Bertranda is, while she's certainly not the most likely winner in the world, when they take her back and try to make one run, she is a different filly than when she tries to make the lead. Going back to the race 4 starts back in particular over a wet track, a track that really was speed favoring at Parks, and she was far, far behind, and she came with a decent run behind Risque's Diamond, who's an okay horse. In her subsequent 2 outings, she was overmatched against Lake Pontchartrain and Angel at War, who were some nice horses. And she was on the chase in both of those races, which I don't think is her preferred style. Last time they took her off the pace, she came with a little even run in between horses. Listen, she obviously has to run the race of her life to win this, but she should be 20-1 come post time. I just don't like the favorites.
I can see taking a shot against the favorite in this race for sure, even though I picked her. I don't know, Dan. I mean, if you want to make a case for anybody in this race, I wouldn't argue too much with it. I just didn't really see the alternatives to Tequilita in this race.
You're going with Tequilita, and Tequilita is not the favorite in the morning line. She's the 2-1 second choice behind Sauer. I'll go with Bertranda, just a stab. 5, 4, 6, 7 for me in the Pumpkin Pie. 2, the second of 3 stakes races at Belmont on Sunday. You can bet it with a DRF Bets account. 300% deposit match waiting for you at bets.drf.com. And approximate post time for the Pumpkin Pie is 4:02 Eastern. Good luck.